Hey, it's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the unboxing and my first impressions on the Sony Xperia Z1. This new offering by Sony was announced back at IFA in Berlin and was definitely one of the most anticipated upcoming devices. It is supposed to take the design philosophy originally started by the Sony Xperia Z and pretty much perfect it. But before we get to the actual device, let's see what's in the box. For the most part, we get the standard fare when it comes to extras, though Sony does make it a point to include screen protectors with their smartphones. These will come in handy, but normally I don't use screen protectors. Under the flap, we find some Sony branded earbuds with extra earpieces, the standard micro USB charging cord, and a plug made for Europe. After that, we have a few thick instruction manuals that would help you get started with your Z1 life. Put all of that aside, however, and we can get right to the phone itself. The phone is covered in a nice plastic film, and it's pretty ceremonious to slowly peel them off. Like I was saying earlier on, this is supposed to be the full culmination of what was originally started in the Xperia Z. A fully glass-encased phone, this Z1 benefits from a completely steel frame that should give it all of the sturdiness implied as well as a much more premium feel. And that's exactly what you think when you first put the Z1 in your hands. This is a heavier phone than the Xperia Z, and the smoother sides evoke a real feeling of premium. That's a word you'll probably hear me say a lot when referring to this phone. Premium. Of course, the other big addition to the Xperia Z1 is the powerful G lens, capable of almost 21 megapixel shooting with a f2.3 aperture and a bunch of added enhancements in the app. I'm very excited to see how this camera will perform and if the premium keyword holds true for it as well. I wanted to address something right off the bat when turning on the Z1 screen. There has been some speculation regarding the screen's dues on the Z1. Apparently, some users have been reporting mixed results with their units, especially in regards to viewing angles. Whether or not this means one Z1 can have a different screen compared to others is up for debate. But with the unit we're working with, we can only surmise quality based on what is in front of us. That being said, I am initially disappointed in the viewing angles on this particular unit. Sony really missed the mark with the Xperia Z with its horrible viewing angles, and then they redeemed themselves with the much better angles found in the Xperia Z Ultra. But now it seems like they've fallen back a couple steps with the Z1. Its viewing angles are not really horrible, as things are still generally visible, but a gray hue does cast over everything the steeper you get in the angle. For a phone that feels and is supposed to be as premium as this, the display might be its biggest miss. At least in these first impressions, this is the case. And so there you have it, the Xperia Z1 in this preliminary look. We'll see how the rest of the device fares, but there's one thing for sure. There's a lot to love about the design, the look, and the feel right off the bat until the viewing angles are put into the mix. However, stay tuned for my final opinions and the full review, coming soon on Android Authority, your source for all things Android.